And we're live. And I played with some of the camera settings before going live in an attempt to actually give myself flesh tones. The default settings on this camera make me really washed out. And also the screen on this laptop's not great. It doesn't give me a true representation. So I'm actually just going to check on YouTube. My channel. Where's my channel? Show me that. My channel. Okay, I just turned that volume down and I'm looking at the screen so I see what I look like. It's like a 5-second delay. That'll do. That's fine. It's fine. That is fine. Wait, what was that? Okay. Right. That little bit of busy work is done. And I'm ready to kick the stream off now. As soon as I assume people are going to arrive in the stream. I remade my freezer martini. I topped it up. That's good. That is tasting good. Raiders, good evening to you, sir. And I have now confirmed for myself freezer daiquiris aren't a thing because this being a martini is all alcohol. A daiquiri is not all alcohol. It's got lime juice and sugar syrup and water, and I have a daiquiri slushy at the moment. So I need that to thaw out. I can't keep that in the freezer. I've now confirmed that for myself, which is a shame. I mean, I could chill it for a while. I think the Infinity Daiquiri will just live in the fridge, which is a shame because the extra iciness, like I love the freezer martini. When I pour it, it's a little bit viscous. It's like there's a fucking impurity sitting there. It's bugging the shit out of me. Hey, Justin, I'm just going to get a spoon. This will just take a second. In fact, I won't even bother with a spoon. I'll just use this. There it is. You thicker. Don't know what that was. It was just like a little crumb or something. It was really annoying. It was sitting right in the middle of the martini too. I did avoid getting arrested today. Why? What did I say would get me arrested? I was mostly in the house. I had my designated exercise walk outside in the afternoon. Fuck me, I didn't get it. It's there. All right, come on. What was that crumb? Was it like in my mustache and it fell in? Was it a floaty that landed in the glass? Because I don't put the glasses thing. Oh shit! Yeah, no, oh my god, that DM. That video was fucking hilarious. Raiders sent me this video. One of the fucking instigators of the Shit for Brains protests got pulled over by the cops, and she set her phone to recording and then seemed real shocked when they arrested her, because they'd ID'd her as one of the instigators, and she'd been that she was arrested for incitement. All right, I will find it. I'll open up my Twitters and find the twats that was sent to me. Okay. Link. Oh, this will do. Okay, this is the link. Monica Smith. Okay. You know, say hello, Justin, by the way. So that's the link to the video on Twitter. It's one of these anti-lockdown fuckheads who I intensely dislike. My favorite bit was where she, when the cops going to pull her over and they, tell her they know who she is, and she's going, "Have you been following me?" And it's like, that's what cops do, and you're breaking the law, and that's why they're following you. You fuckwit. Justin, there's a new doomsday variant. Okay, point the first. No, there isn't. Okay? Do not believe media reports that talk any hyperbole about COVID. Okay? Got to put that out there. Will there be more variants of COVID going forward? Yes. That's what these viruses do. They mutate. Are there potentially variants now that aren't either identified or fully understood? Very likely, yes. Is there going to be a variant that is possibly more contagious, more deadly, causes more serious illness, and resistant to existing vaccines? Very possibly. But there is no verified doomsday variant. That simply isn't true. Can I say unequivocally there's not a hideous variant out there that's going to lay waste to us? No, I cannot equivocally say that. I can confidently say any media reports about a super dangerous variant are at best exaggerated, at worst deliberate overstatements of what is known. Just gross sensationalism. So don't freak out about anything yet. And greetings, cell mutations, to you, nobody. And cheers. Yes, I understand, Justin, you put the quotations around doomsday. I'm just saying any media report saying that is completely untrustworthy, okay? Just like I said, can I be sure that that's not a true thing? No, I honestly can't be. But I can be extremely confident that any media report saying that now is at best grossly irresponsible and sensationalizing extremely incomplete data. That's the best. And again, the worst is deliberate falsification just for the point of sensationalization. So who knows? But we are going to have a long, challenging time. Oh, yeah, I've heard of those raiders. The Arrested Muppet is from a group called Reignite Democracy Australia. A whole bunch of red flag words in that self-proclaimed name. They're fascists. And again, with the mood today, they are going to also be grossly misinformed conspiracy theorists, science-denying, reality-denying fuckwits. But they're also probably the fash. Good point, Justin. Just what we regard as the ordinary flu could mutate into a doomsday variant, as could Ebola. There are a number of incredibly dangerous viruses that are around everywhere. Dengue fever, Ross River fever. What else is there? There's basically a shit ton of stuff that, in the forms that we know it now, are incredibly dangerous. And the wrong chain of events and some mutations could absolutely spell disaster for us. And people who know are saying, you know what we got to do? We got to stop factory farming of chickens, preferably of all meat because it's all dangerous. But factory farming of poultry is like playing Russian roulette with 3 bullets in the chambers. It's so fucking... and we know for a fact it's dangerous. We know that this is where avian flu started. We know mutations of it will happen all the time. We know humans are prone to catch the avian flu from these factory farms. It's a fucking disaster waiting to happen. Oh yes, Megaleech, that's a fun one. Contagious face cancers. For those who don't know, this terrible contagious cancer has been devastating the Tasmanian devil population for a decade or more. Apparently, they transmit it when they bite each other, which is the thing Tasmanian devils do. And so people who care for the environment are very worried about the devils. Most researchers in the field of oncology, cancer research, are fucking terrified because the idea of a contagious cancer is fucking horrific. And sorry, hello, Celtic King as well. And hello, Abigail. Nobody, you find it amusing how some media groups seem to be talking about doomsday variants. Oh, yeah. I mean, again, as I said, you can't actually rule it out, but any media reports saying that there's a doomsday variant of COVID now aren't trustworthy. You like the shirt? Okay, I'll say this is one of my favorite of the flamboyant shirts. It's a series of black cats. They're shaking a cocktail and drinking a cocktail. Martini cat. I'm a martini cat. Yep. Man, I got that fucking freezer martini down pat. That is very good. I also topped up my daiquiri and then kept it in the freezer where it fucking solidified. Because water freezes before alcohol does. If I drank the liquid part of this is alcohol, it'd be too strong. That's probably not even going to melt into a drinkable form this stream. Maybe Thursday night I'll get to try it. Megaleech, what do we call a rooster flavored drink? Cock drink? I don't know. Hey, Stella. That is an interesting point, Stella. From a certain perspective, cervical cancer could be considered contagious because of HPV. Again, that I think you're getting into slightly murky water. It's the virus is contagious, and the virus can cause the cancer. And you're listening while doing the dishes. That's nice. I don't know enough about the science to say if the Tasmanian devil face cancer is the same, essentially the same transmission as HPV, or if it's something else. So I know it's not HPV, but I mean, are the devils transmitting a virus to each other which causes the cancer, or is it an actual contagious cancer? Because that's how it's phrased. Nobody going to do, now you see me don't. Okay, have a shower, buddy. Freshen up. A cocktail. Thank you, Megaleech. Rooster flavored drink, a cocktail. What I think is hilarious is we don't, beyond any doubt, know why the drinks are called cocktails. There's a couple of theories, but but there's not a definitive historical source that says this drink is called a cocktail for this reason. Celtic, the party lights, they are behind me. They're not switched on. We only have them on Friday night, really. Safa, hello. You think the cat's drinking a rooster-flavored drink? I don't know. There's a whole bunch more of these cocktail-themed shirts on these websites that I'm really tempted to buy, but I'm planning on waiting for another month or two because these sites were clearly aimed at the Northern Hemisphere in their summer. And I'm thinking maybe the short-sleeve shirts will get cheap in another month or two, and then I'll buy some more of them. They're already, the same sites where I got these are starting to advertise long-sleeve shirts and hoodies and pullovers with the same designs on them. So, and yes, Safa, technically, last day of winter. So, yeah. Oh, I did miss that, Abigail. You declared Koala Killer Gladys a fucking monster. She is. She's a fucking monster. She fucking gaslights. There was a social media post I saw a while back that really hit home. Someone saying, oh, my psychologist refuses to watch Gladys press conferences now because they've just said, no, fuck that. She's lying and gaslighting. That is like textbook abuser behavior, and it's fucking psychotic, and I can't watch it. The way she just flagrantly lies and then gaslights us about the lies she's telling, it's just like, oof. I mean, that hit home. I don't know if that's literally true that someone's psychologist told them that, but it fucking rings true. Mrs. Angry, who's a psychologist counselor, she went, no, that is an absolutely fair description of what Gladys is doing. She's lying, she's gaslighting. It's predator abuser behavior. It's gross. Justin, I like how you're saying it's legally the last day of winter. It's by convention. I'm not sure that it's a law as such. Micro speed mean for cameras. I'm not like necessarily doing Angry Bunch tonight. I don't do that every night. We'll see though. Oh yeah, Raiders 23 tomorrow. I think it's meant to be 26 on Wednesday. This is 26 this time of year. If it's not too windy, it's literally my favorite weather. Spring mid-20s is absolutely my favorite weather. I don't like how hot it gets in summer. I don't like how cold it gets in winter. Micro USB, there's a link in the... Oh, sorry. I'm super confused. Thank you, Micro USB. The link was to a really funny thing of one of the sort of COVID-denying anti-lockdown protesters in Australia getting arrested by cops. It was fucking hilarious. So I just shared it. So yeah, that's a link to a little video. This absolute fucking piece of shit recorded themselves getting arrested by the cops, which was fucking cool. Not even drunk yet, and I'm not understanding perfectly straightforward comments. So this is the rum I'm going to try. See how red it is? It's cherry. I fucking love these guys. I've had their coconut before. It's the Experimental Kitchen from the Rum Diary. The rum sourced from Trinidad and Tobago. It's imported to Melbourne, and then they do things with it. So yes. Oh, Micro USB, do you get to minus 20 Celsius? You must be like Pacific Northwest. Parts of Australia get that cold, but you have to be in the mountains. I think the coldest temperature I've lived in, the town where I was living, got to minus 15 Celsius. That was in the sort of low part of the mountains west of Sydney. But yeah, cold here is less than 5 Celsius. If we hit 0 in Melbourne, like freezing, people freak out. Yeah. Justin, imagine if Trump got arrested on camera. That would be fun. And micro USB, I believe you're right. There would be some violence from his supporters. That's right. Thank you. Northeast USA, New York. You fuck me. I almost knocked my martini over. And again, I've only had half a martini, so it's not like I probably shouldn't drive at the moment, but more than half a martini. I gave myself a generous pour. Okay, I'm probably drunk. I mean, let's get real. So, when I finish the martini, I'm going to just taste this straight and then make a cocktail with it. So, the little blurb, I love the blurbs they do. This is XO Cherry edition number 1. Creativity through collaboration is at the heart of the experimental kitchen range. Edition number 1, Cherry Rum, was our inaugural product and damn tasty. So, how do you beat that? By starting with an extra long 9-month maceration, changing up the spices to create a richer, luscious, and more regal palate to really balance and match with the entire fruit in the rum. So PX infused French oak, muscatel, black lime, vanilla, and roast wattle seed are used to subtly spice the fruit-driven cherry rum, lending depth, complexity, adding depth of flavor that you can't get with a single fruit maceration. XO Cherry 1.1 demonstrates that not settling on an idea and learning from each experience can yield something new and greater each time. We hope you enjoy this new expression. Cheers from Hamish and Dan. Oh man, I was emailing Hamish. Okay. 42% ABV, so it's a real serious rum. So that means they've imported rums from Trinidad and Tobago, and then when they say macerated, all that means is essentially soaking cherries in the rum, and then they've aged it in French oak barrels that used to have sherry in them, French wine barrels. And they've also used black lime, vanilla, and roast wattle seed to spice it. I'm fucking looking forward to trying this. Justin, if the continent New Zealandia wasn't underwater, Australia would have much colder winters. You may be correct in that. I'm going to just assume you're correct because I don't know. So, okay, you're 3 or 4 hours from Buffalo. Favorite garbage hockey teams from Buffalo. Oh, I just remember working with Canadians who used to think it was cute when we got upset about how cold winter was, and they were talking about growing up with minus 30 to minus 40 Celsius and 10-foot snow drifts. And they said, on the plus side, once you get to somewhere between minus 20 and minus 15, you can't tell the difference because it just freezes your skin and the nerve endings. You can't tell it's any colder. That's you can't sense it. So Micro, you're hot. 15, 1 year, some storm, something, snowfall. 15 foot, 4.5 meters. God damn. Yeah. So people like from North America and Northern Europe who deal with actually fucking serious winters must just laugh at us in Australia when we talk about winter. Even in the southern states, it's just like, Jesus Christ, Northern Australia in winter is like Northern Europe in summer. It's amazing. Oh God, Safra and Raiders are mad for the F1. Raiders went to bed at 3 a.m. still suffering. Yeah, if you fuck up one night's sleep, it can take a couple nights to recover. Man, okay. That fucking martini is good. It's got to the stage my Infinity Freezer Martini has got, I don't know, I must be up to 5 sorts of gin in it at least, and at least 3 sorts of vermouth or aromatized wine. There's at least 3 different vermouths in there, and there's at least 5 gins in there. And it's really fucking good. It's a very dry martini. So I do it about 5 parts gin to 1 part vermouth. I think if Kirsten was here, she'd say that's not right. I think Kirsten does like 7 parts gin to 1 part vermouth. But yeah. Oh, good call, Justin. It's the ocean currents. See, this is why I love having people here who know these things. Ocean currents keep Australia warmer than it otherwise would be. Micro, you drove home last year after a major storm. Buses and trucks and stuff spun off the road. And put your 30-plus-year-old car all the way home doing 20 miles per hour. Damn. Raiders. Oh, shit. You went camping in Tassie in the middle of winter. Okay, Tasmania is beautiful, but very fucking cold in the middle of winter. God damn, dude. Camping in Tassie in the middle of winter. Shit. So, Heine, you were up at 1 a.m. to watch the stream of the F1, but it was still broadcasting. Skip through to live about 20 minutes before the race call. Okay. So we've got a few F1 fans in here. Oh, yeah, Megaleech lives in Tassie. Yes. Thank you, Celtic King. We all love you too, brother. I was re-watching for I don't know how many times Bo Burnham's Inside special before coming on. Fuck that guy. He's so fucking talented. You watch that and it's the combination of he's funny, he's a really good singer, he's a really good musician, he's a really good writer, he's a really good music producer, he is a really good producer of visual of video, just like, and he did that all himself, like all the stuff he did with the lights and the editing and whatnot. It's just fucking stunning. And the content is so good. The content, fuck that guy. He's so fucking talented, honestly. 30, he's so fucking talented. And also, okay, so he's been doing comedy since his teens. And he's done a few really good specials through his 20s. Like Make Happy is still the perfect stage comedy 1 hour as far as I'm concerned. Inside is something else. Inside is a significant piece of art and a significant artifact of the weird time we're in now. But even between Make Happy, when he had to stop performing live because he was having anxiety attacks on stage, he made the film 8th Grade. He wrote and directed the film 8th Grade that centers on a girl in 8th grade in the US. And he made a film that resonates with teenage girls. How does a guy in his late 20s make a film that teenage girls think accurately captures what teenage girls throw through? That's amazing. And Abigail, I completely understand if you found it difficult to watch Inside. And that's why I didn't say it was perfect comedy. It's a very good piece of art and theatre. And I think it's a very important artifact of the time we're in. And if the vibe of going insane while inside doesn't resonate with you, that is absolutely understandable. Absolutely understandable. I guess I view it from a different lens. As someone who has tried to create stuff, I just look at it and go, what the fuck is he doing being that talented? Just the fact that he staged all that in a room by himself with nobody helping him to do the staging, and just what he did with shooting it, with the editing, with writing and performing the songs, the lighting, the projections. Just technically, it's fucking astonishing. The fucker is so talented, it shits me up the wall, honestly. Is that micro USB? Does anyone else own a Keurig? No, I do not. But you have an issue where it adds too much water. Yet 8 ounces to dispense more. I don't know a Keurig. Microsp, you might be right that some people don't understand him, but also personal taste is a real and legitimate thing. Personal taste is subjective. I won't assert that Inside or anything else Bo Burnham has done is objectively enjoyable and entertaining, But what I will assert, and I will definitely assert anyone who disagrees just doesn't fucking know what they're talking about. I will assert that it is technically astonishing. Bo Burnham's technical skills are fucking mind-blowing. And I don't just mean inside. I think Make Happy, which he made about 4 years ago, I think that is, for me, for my tastes, is close to the perfect comedy stage show. It's absolutely astonishing. It's great. Celtic, how strong do I like my alcoholic drinks? I like very boozy drinks. I do like very boozy drinks. I also like variety, my boozy drinks. Micro, your grammar's been so atrocious lately, I'm seriously considering going to community college. That's not the worst idea in the world, man. Always be learning. Always be learning. It's not a bad idea. Oh, Abigail, so you like Make Happy. I think Make Happy is funny. I think Make Happy is fucking hilarious and technically brilliant. And structurally astonishing. I think Inside is technically brilliant, structurally amazing, not as funny as Make Happy. There's funny stuff in it. There is very, very funny stuff in it, but it's not as funny as Make Happy. Crucial, hello, is the stream buffering? You were watching stuff back in high school 2015. Feels like you're... Dude, I've been doing this shit for 15 years. And like you, a bunch of people over that period have started watching me in their mid-teens and shit, and are still watching in their mid-20s and even into their 30s. It's mind-blowing. The internet, man. What even is it? What even is it? Oh, yeah, Telstra. See, that's the thing, Crystal. When you have buffering, there can be 100 things that are causing it. Everything from my end to your end to everything... Wait, is this thawed out now? Because I'd really like I want to taste my... I think it's thawed out. My freezer daiquiri actually froze. I think it's thawed out. I don't think there's any more ice in it. Okay. I want to taste my daiquiri before I get into the... Because I topped this... I was really bored working from home, and I was waiting for a session to start, and it was like 20 minutes, and I'm going... I can't fucking start any new work. I've got to be at this thing in 20 minutes. I spent the 20 minutes topping up my freezer martini and freezer daiquiri. Just going to have a little freezer daiquiri. Because prior to me topping it up, it was kind of perfect. And I might have fucked up the balance with my top-up, or I might have maintained the perfection, or I might have taken it to a new level of perfection. This is what I enjoy with these fucking infinity drinks. It's really good. For my palate, it might have a bit much lime juice in it now. Some people, I did miss you, nobody. I miss you every second you're not here, brother. Marco, you don't want to work today? Stay home. I've been working from home for 18 months now. So if you want infinite Tim Tams, they had ads along that line, didn't they? Yep. So I think when I top this, I'm not going to have another big drink of this. If in subsequent streams, if I have one or two more big drinks of that, I'll top it up. When I top it up, I'll use less lime juice. I know I follow recipes, and often people tell me you're not using the right proportions of citrus. Something about my palate, the standard measures of citrus in sour drinks, and that's like a whiskey sour, which is one of my favorites. A daiquiri's a rum sour, basically. And you can do a tequila sour as well. But I like less citrus than a lot of other people do. But it's personal taste, literally in this case, not philosophically. Oh my God, that's pretty fucking good. That is pretty fucking good. But just maybe a bit much lime juice for me. I know what I'll do. I know exactly what I'll do next time I top it up. And then we'll try it again. Michael, your trade jobs, man, I am fucking hell. I am so lucky. The job I had previous, because I'm a contractor, so I changed jobs. Um, uh, my job previous to this one, if I'd still been in that job when COVID hit, they would have just fucking dumped me because it was at a uni, and unis got hit really hard by COVID, and it was not the best environment in the world, that previous job. Um, and I'm working for the government at the moment, working for the state government. Um, it is a really good environment, and it's the double barrel. It's quite a good environment. They're quite supportive. They seem to genuinely want to care for their staff. They understand that everyone's stressed as fuck because of these crazy times we live in. But also, I have some kind of specialized skills. I'm working in cybersecurity, and there's an appreciation for my skills, and I'm able to help. I'm able to do stuff that's productive and helps. And I feel so fucking lucky. I know so many people are doing it so hard. I've maintained a good paying job. Being at home is good for me. I like my home life. So yeah, Marcus B, most your job got laid off apart from a few managers. God damn. Stella, you remember Julian McMahon being in the Tim Tam ads, wishing for the never-ending pack of Tim Tams. Okay, again, for people who don't remember or don't know, there was a bit in these Tim Tam ads from, I don't know, a decade ago, and the person was kind of portrayed as being stupid. Like, he gets a genie, and he's eating a Tim Tam, and the genie says, "You have 3 wishes," and he goes, "I wish for a pack of never-ending Tim Tams," and the genie goes, "For Tam," and the almost empty Tim Tams fill up, and they eat one, and it fills up, and the genie goes, "You have 2 more wishes," and he goes, "I'll have 2 more of these," which was kind of portrayed as a stupid waste of 2 wishes. It's not, though, because a never-ending packet of Tim Tams is literally worth millions. Like, when you prove to someone that they've never, it's an inexhaustible resource source. It's worth millions. You'd sell the other 2. Oh, sorry, micro USB. A Tim Tam is the best chocolate biscuit, aka cookie, Australia has ever produced. It's fucking incredible. Okay, so the base Tim Tam was a chocolate biscuit, chocolate cookie, rectangular, chocolate cream, another chocolate biscuit on top of that. So it's like you'd recognize it as a cookie sandwich, but then the whole thing is coated in milk chocolate. It is the fucking greatest chocolate biscuit invented in Australia. It's so good. Oh yeah, good call, Megaleech. Look up Tim Tam Slam videos on YouTube. I've got a Tim Tam Slam video on YouTube, actually. Okay, that is good. Now the time has come to try this. Yes, oh, Stella, the ads from the 90s were they literally from the 90s? Jesus Christ, I thought it was 10 years ago. It's 20 years ago, 25 years ago. We're all old. Yeah, micro USB, they were licensed in the US for a while. Pepperidge Farm were making them in the US. I think they stopped making them in the US. I could be wrong though. Oh, my Tim Tam Slam video with Eva. My videos. Search across my channel. Tim Tam. Here we go. Tim Tam Slam. Okay, I'll put this on while I get some stuff. How do I? Right. Okay. Oh my God. How long? This is almost 10 years ago. So I look very different. And the lovely Eva Sless is with me. Okay. This is, oh shit, Amazon wants 15 US for 1 pack. That's outrageous, man. There are a couple dollars here. All right, I'm gonna play at Megaleech's insistence, I'm going to share the audio. Tim Tam Slam, share. Okay, so
G'day viewers.
Hi.
Very special.
Are you
video
hearing
today.
this?
Something Eva's been promising to blog readers for ages. Yeah. And it's the pinnacle of Australian civilization.
It is. It's what our cities, our great cities, have been built on. Our great cities and all of our culture has been built on this one particular thing.
We are talking about the Tim Tam. World's greatest chocolate biscuit.
Without a doubt. If you could smell this right now, you'd be melting.
And because this is mainly for the edification of Americans, cookies, okay, chocolate biscuits. The scones are not biscuits, these are biscuits. Now, no, and by the way, we're not sponsored by Tim Tam.
No, not at all. But if they want us to do any ads, hey, we're available. Call us. Yeah. Numbers down the bottom.
Lifetime supply of Tim Tams, yeah. So, why Tim Tams are so awesome? I'm going to take a bite out of one purely in the name of science.
Science, all for science.
First,
we like our scientific research.
You can see it's coated in chocolate, fully coated in chocolate. I won't eat it now because I'm still talking. But on the inside, let's see if the camera will zoom in on that, or if it's I think it's in focus. There's layers. There's a chocolate biscuit, and then chocolate cream, and then a chocolate biscuit. So it's basically chocolate, 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 chocolate.
Chocolate.
Which is
it's so good. It's not just chocolate though. It's got this vanilla-y, caramelly kind of blend to it, and it's just it's sublime. It really is.
There are all sorts of flavors now, but this is the original.
This is the original, and it's probably the best. Actually, the only one that probably comes as close to this is the double coat, which is just exactly the same as this, but it's got extra thick chocolate. But for the purpose of what I'll be showing you today, actually original Tim Tams are a lot better for it. The double coat just make it a little bit trickier.
And what Eva's going to show you, this is the pinnacle of the Tim Tam experience.
Right, it is. It is called the Tim Tam Slam. Now, before I start, like Andrew said, I mentioned Tim Tams on my blog. It's actually in the byline of my blog, and it says, I think it says sex work, silliness, and Tim Tams. What more could you want? And every Australian goes, well, nothing.
Yeah, that's everything.
Maybe a bit of Vegemite toast. Americans, on the other hand, and some Brits and Europeans, one of the most common questions I am asked when it's not about sex work and sex advice and things is, what is a Tim Tam? Why do you talk about it on your blog? What is it? Is it a sex act?
It could be.
This is very close to a sex act.
Yes.
This is amazing.
I'll do a quick intro, and then I'm going to so you get a close-up view of the experience that is the Tim Tam Slam. But why it works is because the biscuit in there is porous. So what you do...
Oh, I'll show you what you do.
What you do...
Okay, you get your Tim Tam, see? Nice little rectangle shape. Very carefully, you nibble off just one corner, and you turn it around, and on the opposite diagonal corner, you take a little nibble. Now, that's pretty easy. I could just eat all this right now. But what I have here is a cup of coffee.
Perfect companion to a Tim Tam.
Absolutely. Now, what you do, we might need to angle the camera down slightly here.
I'll go behind camera now, and we'll see the Tim Tam Slam in action. What Eva's going to do is you essentially suck the coffee through the biscuit. Like a straw. So you go and we'll show. Yeah, and what happens is basically the biscuit slowly dissolves, and the trick is to
slam it into your mouth really fast.
To get it all in your mouth before it falls to pieces and lands in your coffee. So we'll see how we go.
Tim Tam Slam. This is going to get really messy. You have your little corners nibbled off the end of the Tim Tam, and you dip one of the corners into your coffee. Now I'm going to have to stop talking in a minute because it takes all of my mouth to do this. So you dip it in, and as soon as that corner touches, you start to suck through the coffee. Okay, like this. Are you ready? Tim Tam Slam. Here we go. And it explodes into this mushy, chocolatey, creamy, coffee. Oh, it's so good. I think I need another one. And that, my friends, is a Tim Tam Slam.
So yes, I guess you can judge for yourself if you think it's a sex act, but it's very close. It's a very sensual thing. It's a very popular thing to do in Australia, and it's just
delicious. They're so delicious.
Sucks for the rest of the world you don't get Tim Tams.
No.
Although I have heard you can get them some places.
A few places,
in America.
and in the United Kingdom as well.
Yeah, people import them, or there's some local makers licensed to make them these days because the internet got the secret out to the world, essentially.
So, yeah, Tim Tams, the great Aussie biscuit.
Okay. Okay. Oh dear, that's the Tim Tam Slam. And that's me 10 years ago. And also, I also want to point out, Micro Spears joking about how young I looked. I was dyeing my hair and my beard 10 years ago. I'm not dyeing it anymore. I just fucking stopped and decided to act my age. Yeah, that's a Tim Tam Slam. That was fun. That was fun watching that thing from 10 years ago. Oh my God. Oh, fuck yeah, that is rum, motherfucker. Oh, sorry, I saved off. Look at the color of that. The color of that. Cherry rum. Oh, yeah, okay. Eva is a coffee drinker. I would recommend hot chocolate. Milo, a couple of people have said. Or even tea. I would prefer hot chocolate or tea. I'm not a coffee drinker, but Eva's a coffee drinker, so she likes to do it with coffee. But you basically do it with a hot beverage and slurp it and then jam it all in the mouth. Heine, you've pivoted from loony right women getting arrested. Some dude trying to organise mass protests. Channel 7 coverage of protests. Yeah, I fucking hate those people so much. All right, I'm going to have my first taste of my cherry rum, cherry spiced rum. My word, that's good. All right. All right. Hey, Billy Lois, hope you're doing well as well, man. Oh, okay, Micro Speed. Do you want to show me? This is funny. I've only, in the last 18 months, I've only been to an ATM about 3 times. I used to go like every other week, but pay for everything with card now. I've only got 2 notes. The only reason I've ever gone to an ATM is to give my offspring some money to when they're going somewhere as emergency pay. This is an Australian 50. That's an Australian 50. Our plastic thing with the clear bit in the middle. That is Edith Cowan on that side. On this side of the 50, there you go. 50. On this side of the 50, that is David Unapion. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. The only other note I have is a 20. It's a 20. And that's the other side of the 20. Those are the only notes I have in my wallet. I have not used cash in like 80 months. Yeah, that's the new 50, Abigail. Slightly different from the old 50. I do have some coins. What's here? A $1, a $2. It's kind of all I got. Got a bunch of $1 coins. Do I have a $2 coin in here? No, that's another $1. This is really weird how little I've used cash in the last year. I've just got a bunch of $1 coins in here. Do I have anything else? No, it's just like $1. Okay, I've got a $1 coin that has little Betty Windsor on it, and a 5-cent coin also has Betty Windsor and an echidna on the other side. I just haven't used fucking cash in the last... I'm not exaggerating. In 18 months, I've been to an ATM to get cash maybe 3 times. And the only reason I have given out cash was to my offspring when they're going out somewhere. I said, okay, here's $50 for an emergency while you're out, okay? We don't have a $2 bill. We have a $1 and $2 coin. We have a 5, a 20, a 50, and a $100 note. And yeah, no, Billy, I've just used card for the last fucking 18 months. All right. So my rum is super tasty. I'm just going to chill it. I'm going to put a bit of ice in because sometimes chilling the rum and also the ice will melt a little. Put a bit of water into the rum. That can bring out some different flavors. I'm just going to try that. Oh, Micro, you're having so much trouble with the spelling. You're worried about people having a distaste for gas and you meant cash. Yeah. Yes. Oh, Justin, you use your phone. I can do contactless with my phone. I tend to use my card though, rather than my phone. But yeah, a place I like, a bakery that does just exceptionally good bread that they, for the last 18 months, they were saying, please just use your card. But the one near me, they've introduced this cash handling machine. So you can pay with cash, but they don't have to touch it. You put your cash into the machine and it puts your change back out. Yeah, Micro cash has a lot of uses that non-cash payments will never have, but governments would like to move us away from cash because that gives them more control over the economy. Abigail, you use your phone when you're too lazy to get the card. I don't think my phone's set up to do it because sometimes I do it accidentally and it's, do you want to pay with card? No, that's not what I meant to do. And it is rigged to use my credit card. But I almost never use it. I tend to use my physical card. Right, so I've chilled my cherry rum. What did I have to drink? I had my fucking martini, which was a lot, honestly. I had a little bit of my daiquiri. I feel drunk at the moment, quite honestly. So I'm going to try my cherry rum. Man, that's good. That is good. I think I want to make my current favorite cocktail is called the Woodson and Ford, which was the house drink at a bar called Woodson and Ford which I think was in New York. It doesn't exist anymore. But I found this recipe and I tried it, and it's 1 shot of rum, 1 shot of apple liqueur or apple brandy. You can use American Applejack, French Calvados, or there's a number of apple brandies and liqueurs around the world. So it's 1 shot of rum, 1 shot of apple brandy, apple liqueur, 3/4 an ounce of sweet vermouth, 1/4 of an ounce of Benedictine, and a splash of bitters. Now, and you can play with that. Different rums are going to give you a different drink. Different apple liqueurs and brandies are going to give you a different drink. Different vermouths are going to give you a different drink. And I've played with it with a bunch of stuff. It's a fucking killer drink. It is such a good drink. So Stella, you put all your savings in cash. Government doesn't know how much. Oh, you actually physically hold. I get it. Yeah, no. That reminds me of a thing. I used to work for an insurance company years ago, and of course most people were paying with card or on the internet, and the guys who were on the front desk said, oh, this sweet little old lady came in and paid for her insurance in cash. And and this was, okay, I'm old. This was in the 90s. We did have plastic money at this point. But they said this sweet little old lady came in and paid with cash, and the money was all perfectly flat and smelled like mothballs. And I went, oh, shit. You know what you should have told her? Because particularly in the paper money days. See, okay, sometime in the 80s, I think it was the Hawke government, introduced means tests for pensioners. So you only got the pension if you weren't filthy, stinking rich. So what a lot of pensioners did was take all of their money out of the bank in cash and keep it in their house. And then they went and applied for a pension and said, see, I've got no money in the bank. And they kept the cash in the house. And because it was potentially possible for paper money to degrade, they would keep it with mothballs. So this sweet little old lady paid for her insurance with cash that was perfectly pressed flat and smelled like mothballs. And I said, oh my God, you should have fucking warned her. Because what that tells me straight away when she's paying with cash that smells like mothballs, she is storing a significant amount of cash in her house, possibly tens of thousands of dollars of cash in her house. And so if she's going around everywhere paying by cash that smells like mothballs, some unscrupulous motherfucker is going to work out, this is a pensioner that has a shit ton of cash in their house, and they're going to follow them home and hit them over the head and ransack their house. Again, this poor little old lady was not aware of what she's giving away. Safa, that's a good question, Safa. Is it illegal to store cash at home? I don't think so. The government has made it illegal to conduct cash transactions over a certain amount because they assert only criminals conduct cash transactions over a certain amount, which I think is 10,000. But I don't know if it's illegal to hoard cash. But yeah, I just remember thinking, oh my God, this little old lady, she doesn't realize she's basically telling people she's got a shit ton of cash in her house, and she will eventually pay cash to the wrong person who will follow her home and hit her over the head and steal all her cash. Stella, I think you're probably right. It's not illegal to keep cash, but there is a limit on what is a legal cash transaction, which I think is $10,000. Oh, Jesus. Micro USB, the US and Australia are very, 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 very different with what the government can and can't do. But I think even in the US, significant cash transactions are treated as evidence of criminal activity. I could be wrong. But in Australia, I don't think at the moment you can legally transact more than $10,000 in cash. Like, it has to be bank transactions. Having a few drinks on a Tuesday night. Safa, how do you pay for a new car for over $10,000? You pay for it with a bank transfer or even a check. Oh, Stella, there is an argument to be made that the limit on cash transactions is bullshit. The government says only criminals do transactions for that much, but it's a whole tax thing as well. So yeah, there's a lot of argument about that whole thing about cash transactions. And yeah, Justin, older people love cash. Older people still pay with it. And like a big part of that was avoiding means testing for pensions. That started in the 80s when the Hawke government introduced means testing for pensions. The pensioners withdrew all their cash from the bank and stored it in the house, which has obvious risks because it gets stolen and it's all gone. And yes, Micro, there are people who just don't trust banks. You are absolutely right. I worked in a place that was directly opposite a bank a few years ago. By a few years ago, I mean 20 years ago. And on pension day, there would be a massive fucking line out of the bank because pensioners would withdraw their entire pension in cash because they didn't trust banks. The government was insisting they would only pay the pension into a bank account, but the pensioners would withdraw it in cash because they didn't trust banks. Abigail, a friend of yours bought a house owned by bikie gang for a joke, paid the deposit with 3 duffel bags full of $20 notes. People selling the house were not impressed. You can't do that anymore. Black Metal Heart used to do volunteer work for St. Vincent. Amount of money you'd find in drawers from deceased estate was crazy. Oh, yeah, they would hoard tens of thousands of dollars. Oh, yeah, again, nobody. Originally, when the Labor Party introduced the means testing, the Liberal Party are against it. Now they're all for it. The Liberal Party are the ones introducing the laws about cash transactions. Safa, can someone teach you how to use check because you're young? No one in Australia uses checks. The US was very big on checks. Australia started adopting credit cards in the 70s before anyone else. The original one was bank card. But Australia switched to credit cards much faster than most of the rest of the world. But yeah, a lot of old people still mistrust cards and only want to deal in cash. Like I said, I was opposite a bank. Every pension day, there'd be a massive fucking line because they'd all fucking withdraw their pension in cash. And I used to think, why don't they wait a day? Pension day, there's this massive line. Why don't they wait a day and then there's no line? And I realized it was a social event. They got to hang out in the line and talk to each other. Micro, you reckon checks have been out for a decade or two? I think with younger people in the US, definitely checks have been out. But I've certainly seen references with older people paying in like supermarkets and stuff with checks. And checks have never been a thing. Only businesses transacted in checks in Australia. Ordinary people didn't. The whole thing, one of the reasons of cash transactions being limited, criminals absolutely did it. There are a bunch of mafia dudes in Australia who were buying houses with cash to launder their drug money. Tony Mockbell was a notorious one. I worked for a bank a few years ago, and the training thing about the money laundering laws, basically saying this is all because of Tony Mockbell. Tony Mockbell would go he'd take out a mortgage on a house, and then he'd go in and pay off the mortgage with cash. His only declared business was like a hot dog truck or a kebab truck. And then when the mortgage was paid off, he'd sell the house and he'd make all the money from the house sale. And that was completely laundered money. And the banks knew he was a fucking criminal and they just didn't fucking care. Banks are so fucking dodgy. So they were in check accounts had, yes, for my business. Okay, because I'm a contractor and I contract through my own business. Technically, my bank account for my business is a check account. I know I used to have checkbooks. I haven't written a check in a fucking decade. It's all been electronic transactions. But yeah. Micro, your stepfather found 150 in an old tissue case at a thrift shop hiding on the tissue. Yeah, old people fucking hide cash in all their stuff. So deceased estates will have heaps of fucking shit. Right, even though I'm a teensy bit drunk at the moment, it's only the halfway mark of this stream, I'm going to make my favorite cocktail with this because I think this will make a really good version of it. So I need to get apple liqueur. I've got this one. This French apple liqueur, Le Bleu. Very good. Possibly hard to get, but it's very good. Now I want to get the sweet vermouth out of the fridge. Nope, not that one. This one. Got a few vermouths, aromatized wines. This is an Australian one. It's really good. And I've got to get the Benedictine. And bitters. Just for a laugh, I'll use these tiki bitters because I'm using rum. And I'm going to put a cherry on it because I fucking love cherries. Maraschino cherries. All right. Got my little sword to see if I can spear a cherry. I need a glass. I'm just going to use the martini glass, quite honestly. Get my stirring glass and put some ice in it. Yeah. Handful of ice. That's all good. Come on, close freezer. Don't be difficult. Need to get my stirrer, which is a cast of a finger of a famous bartender. Gaz Regan's finger. Annette. Nettie gave me this. It's a Christmas present. I don't have my fucking jigger. That's the other thing I need. Yes, Stella, I agree with you about the spelling of Czech, by the way. Where is my jigger? Yo, where my jiggers at? Okay. Right. So, here we go. Justin, when you were young, parents were worried about your handwriting. They were worried you'd never be able to write a check. Yeah, well, that was something you didn't have to worry about. Black Metal Heart. As a worker that played a bit on your conscience, it also helps brighten up people's lives. Lost a loved one, hand them $5,000 they didn't in the sock drawer. Yeah, cool. I like that. All right, so an ounce of my cherry rum. 30 mils for people who use the enlightened metric system. Same amount of apple brandy or apple liqueur. 1 fluid ounce or 30 mils. Shazam, y'all. Now, there was a sharp edge on that. 3/4 of an ounce. 22.5 mils of sweet vermouth. That's about right. Und. Celtic King, have I ever thought about opening a whorehouse? Look, brothels are legal in Victoria. I could think of worse businesses. Honestly, I'd like to open a combined distillery and bar, quite honestly. And some bitters. Vitamins Tiki bitters. All right. And we want to stir that. Abigail, you'd like to work as receptionist at the brothel. Interesting. All right, so we stir this. Chill. Oh my God, yes. Christ, I fucking love this drink. Celtic King, a distillery, bar, and brothel is a very interesting combo. Where's my strainer? Must be in the dishwasher. My Hawthorne strainer. And it's going to look out of place in this martini glass because there's way too much volume in this martini glass. But I just don't want to dirty another glass, basically. But look at that. This would be a good Halloween drink. It's just like blood. Dracula's blood drink. Abigail, you get really annoyed when you hear Americans say, oh my God, soda instead of solder. Yes. Jesus Christ. Yes. Oh my God, oh my God, that's good. That is so fucking good. Wow, the cherry is really coming through. Oh yeah, look, Black Metal Heart. Americans saying aluminum instead of aluminium is just weird, but I'm with Abigail. Solder instead of solder fucking shits me. I really do not like that. Celtic King, that's the whole business model for you. Make the booze, get them drunk, let them leave with an empty scrotum. Good business model. Yeah. Well, if I win lotto, well, first I probably had to buy a lotto ticket. But if I win lotto, I'll probably start my own distillery just for fun. God damn, that's just so fucking good. Oh, I knew this would be good in a Woodson and Ford. It is so good. So good. Billy Lois, your friend says milk instead of milk. Is that a Simpsons reference? Simpsons reference. Oh, right. Oh, but that's just a pronunciation thing, Megaly, saying think when they mean sing, like saying everything. Yeah, but that's not really the same. That would be an acknowledged you are saying that wrong, everything instead of everything. Whereas, yeah, again, the American pronunciation of soda, and they're sure they're saying it right. That's there's a difference between the pronunciation being regarded as correct and the pronunciation being common but incorrect. Everything is incorrect but common, whereas aluminum and solder are regarded as correct. Celtic, you like the idea of the Angry Distillery Company? We always said, in honor of the stream, and call it the Divergent Distillery, because the regulars are all divergent in one way or another, whether being neurodivergent or sexually divergent or gender divergent. From the conservative viewpoint, we embrace the divergence, is what I'm saying. I feel vindicated making this drink, which has been my favorite cocktail for a couple months since I first discovered it. I knew this cherry rum would do a really good version of it, and it's fucking fantastic. It is very good. So I'm happy. I was pretty confident that would be a good version of it, and it is. So yeah. All right. In fact, how long ago did I do the thing? Angry cocktails. Where's my YouTube channel? Okay, so Angry Cocktails videos. How far away was my Woodson and Ford? So now I'm intrigued. How long ago did I discover it? Because I made the video. I'm in all these thumbnails. It's like I'm so fucking egotistical putting myself in all these thumbnails. Who? 2 months ago. Okay, this is when did I put this on? June.
G'day, cocktail lovers.
Okay, go away. So I discovered this cocktail about 3 months ago, and it's my fucking favorite. Hey, Loriander, by the way. Justin, you think that's the first time you've heard me say neurodivergent? Well, I've said it a lot in the time. Because I'm a big believer in the terms neurodivergent and neurotypical rather than normal. Normal is such a stupid fucking word as far as I'm concerned. Geez, micro USB, I hope you don't have to pay $15 for a pack of Tim Tams. That only cost a couple dollars Australian. Jesus. That's crazy talk. Lorena, I did survive last Friday. The thing is, I just fell asleep. And I don't know why. I don't know why I left. I watched the stream back on Saturday. And it's like, okay, at about 11:30, there was 8 or 9 other people on the stream. And I just walked off without saying anything. And then I was gone for 90 minutes. And I came back and went, I fell asleep. I just fell asleep. I just went into the next room and I still don't know why I did that. But I got to the lounge and apparently it was very comfortable and I just went and fell asleep. Then I came back at about 1 a.m. and was like, fucking hell. I fell asleep. I switched stuff off. Now I'm going to bed. Then I switched the stream off and went to bed. Oh my God. I think now I have to fucking make the Woodson and Ford again on my channel using this cherry rum. It just works so well. It's freaking amazing. Freaking amazing. Okay, someone send a care package of Aussie goodies. We should do that actually. Send you some stuff. That would be kind. Do you want to do it? Okay, you message me on the socials or something, Micro USB. You could send some local stuff from your part of the world, and I'll send you some Aussie stuff. That's a thing we could do. That would be kind of fun. That would be fun, actually. Celtic, have I used magic mushrooms? Allegedly, many years ago, and by many years, I mean like 25 years ago, 20, somewhere between 25 and 30 years ago, some friends of mine may have brought magic mushrooms out of my house, and we may have put them in the pot with boiling water to make a stew. And they may have made coffee with it, and I may have made tea because I don't like coffee. And then all the coffee drinkers were like, this is disgusting. And I'm going, my tea's actually okay. And then we necked it. And my neighbor at the time may have decided to do some household renovations, which involved them literally demolishing the back half of their house that they would subsequently rebuild. But the fact that I had a house full of people on magic mushrooms and we were looking out our kitchen window and we could see this family just demolishing the back half of their house with sledgehammers, and we were in hysterics. We just thought it was the funniest fucking thing ever. Like, we were like, bro, I'm completely on board. I think smashing the house up with a sledgehammer is a fucking excellent idea. But I also feel compelled to say you're going to sober up and then wake up and half your house will be gone and you'll regret it. You will regret it. And of course, these guys, I think they were building contractors. They knew what they were doing and they were going to renovate their own house. But we were just fucking stoned and we just thought they were demolishing half their house for recreational reasons. But it was such a weird coincidence that the day we decided to do magic mushrooms, our neighbors decided to demolish half the house. Micro USB, we don't have Yoo-hoo. That's the chocolate milk thing, isn't it? I believe I've had it in the US, but we do not have Yoo-hoo in Australia. Basically, any sort of American candy is probably hard to get in Australia. Mm. So it's not milk, but it's kind of is Marco Rosebeer is a Yoo-hoo. Oh, it's water based, so it's like milk adjacent. It's a chocolate water based drink that kind of looks like chocolate milk. I have had Yoo-hoo when I was in the US, I think. And yes, Black Metal Heart, you're right. Aldi sometimes have American candy specials, and there are specialty stores that sell American candies in Australia. Kelcher King, you're off. Thanks for dropping by, man. No milk at all in a Yoo-hoo. It's all water and chocolate flavor. All right. But it simulates chocolate milk, doesn't it? I don't know. You tell me. You'd know better than me. What's the time? It's only 9:20. Okay. YouTube, will 80% be vaxxed by Christmas? Yeah or nay? 80% of the complete population? No. Because Scotty from marketing is fucking lying because he's excluding kids. In terms of the entire population of Australia, I think maybe 60% of the population will be vaccinated by Christmas. 80% of the adult population, yes, but that translates into only about 60% of the overall population. So yeah. Safa boosters, we like there's an annual flu vaccination. We are definitely going to need an annual COVID booster. Whether they end up coming up with an all-in-one annual flu vax that includes known flu variants, including COVID, or whether we have to have two, whether you have to space them out and like 1 month have a flu vax and another month have a COVID booster. But we are definitely going to need COVID boosters. I think there's no doubt whatsoever about that. Yeah, YouTube, that will cover both new variants and simply, even if there were no new variants, I think we would still need a COVID booster vax. Stella, you reckon Qantas is sending an email saying we'll be open to America by December 2021? No fucking way. That is not going to happen. The federal government and the New South Wales government are absolutely fucking lying about how open things are going to be before the end of this year. They're just fucking lying. Black Metal Heart waiting for Moderna. Yeah, look, the rest of this year is going to be a bit fraught, but I think Moderna or another mRNA vaccine is going to be manufactured in Australia next year. So in terms of boosters and shit, next year we will be fine. This year's still going to be before. Micro, I'm with you, man. Let's just fucking ignore anti-vaxxers. Fuck them. They're fucked. Let's just fucking ignore them. Oh, I've got to make this for Mrs. Angry. It's not just the Woodson and Ford is not just my favorite cocktail. It's Mrs. Angry's favorite cocktail too. I have got to make her one with this cherry rum. It's fucking amazing. I've made it with a few different rums and a few different apple brandies and a few different vermouths. It's like they're all in the same family, but all slightly different. It's good, but this is fucking great. Yeah, nobody. We can mail you micro USB John Howard. That would be good. You want to drop there? I could micro. We could mail you a caramello koala. Yes, Abigail. Anti-vaxxers can suck everyone's dick, whether someone has a physical dick or not. They can suck our spiritual dick, our psychic dick. They can stick our psychic dick right the fuck down their throat. Micro, John Howard, the Conservative Prime Minister we had in the 90s. He's a piece of shit. He entrenched racism in Australian politics. And Australia's always been pretty fucking racist. But in the 90s, he made racism towards refugees and asylum seekers a central part of Australian politics. It's fucking sick. Fucker's still around. I hate him. He's still justifying the fucking Afghanistan war because he was prime minister when Australia supported the US going into Afghanistan. So fuck. And yes, nobody, I agree with anti-vaxxers. Bugger them with a cactus. They fucking suck, man. They fucking suck. Yeah, Black Metal Heart. John Howard did one good thing, gun reform in Australia, but he did a number of fucking horrible things. So fuck that guy. Oh God, Michael Reesby, it is so true. Mitch McConnell looks like a fucking turtle. There is no two ways about it. Mitch McConnell looks like a fucking turtle. It's just fucked. Oh, geez, micro USB, that's a hard deal. If you take John Howard, we take Trump. John Howard was like George W. Bush loved John Howard. John Howard was PM when George W. Bush was president. I'm not joking, because when other world leaders were wavering about the Iraq invasion and supporting George W. Bush, John Howard had his lips firmly planted on George W. Bush's butthole, and George W. Bush fucking loved John Howard big time. They were just like 69ing, sucking each other's dicks, and it's just fuck. And Micro, I'm with you. Trump as a silly celebrity, I could kind of tolerate. Trump in politics, bad. Fucking bad. And yes, Mitch McConnell is evil, corrupt, and a piece of shit. Mitch McConnell is a soulless, mendacious, fucking piece of garbage. Justin, which US president would want it as Australian Prime Minister? Fucking none of them, honestly. Oh my God, this drink is... I have got to resist making another one of these drinks because, I mean, I need to drink a bit of water before bedtime, basically. Oh, Billy Lois. Yes, that is a real thing. Mozart had a song that was basically called Kiss My Ass, and it was like stick your tongue right up my butthole. Mozart was a fucking thing. Nettie, hidey-ho. Oh, shit, yeah, Micro USB, Teddy Roosevelt being an alpha. Because Teddy Roosevelt notoriously was shot by some dude while making a speech and actually finished the speech and then went to hospital. He finished his speech and then he went to hospital and they dug the bullet out of him where this dude had shot him. Teddy Roosevelt was a fucking unit. Oh, Nettie. I'm just finishing the cocktail that's been my favorite for like 2 or 3 months now, the Woodson and Ford. But with my new rum, this cherry rum, which is fucking amazing and just makes just a killer Woodson and Ford. The Woodson and Ford has rum, apple brandy or apple liqueur, sweet vermouth, and Benedictine. And it is the current favorite of both myself and Mrs. Angry. We agree that this is a fucking kick-ass cocktail. And I really knew this cherry rum would go really well in it. I just made one and it was friggin' phenomenal. So another night, I'm going to have to make one for Mrs. Angry. So I've got a freezer martini. This is going to have to be a fridge daiquiri because I put it in the freezer and it fucking froze solid. So, okay, there's too much non-alcohol content in a daiquiri because a daiquiri is rum, lime juice, and sugar syrup. And it freezes solid. Whereas martini is just a gin and vermouth, which is all alcohol, which doesn't freeze solid. So I've got a freezer martini. It's got to have to be a fridge daiquiri and a fridge old-fashioned. So speaking of which, I need to put a couple of things in the fridge, namely my vermouth and my daiquiri. Let's put them in there. Daiquiri in there. Oh, vermouth in there. And yes, I believe a teddy bear may have been named after Teddy Roosevelt. I'm just drinking some water now before going to bed. Because I'm a little bit tipsy and it's only a Tuesday night. And I've got kind of tipsy on a Tuesday night. I've got to put all these things away. And I'll put my cherry rum away. Oof. So I think Mrs. Angry is going to be pretty happy to hear that the Woodson and Ford made with the cherry rum is fucking amazing. Jemmy on Twitch, hello to you. YouTube, you think I should open a bar? We've said that if I win lotto, I'm going to open a combined distillery and bar. That's the thing that's going to happen. This is now water, by the way, for anyone who's interested. Having some water before bedtime. But you think there's a joke here about IKEA involved a person being found dead next to a partly assembled IKEA thing and an Allen key. Oof. I know some of the IKEA stuff has Allen keys in it. I've had IKEA stuff that has Allen keys in it. I'm just trying to think. What was I say? I'm a little bit inebriated at the moment. I had a couple of drinks. I had a martini and I tasted the rum. I tasted my fridge daiquiri, which was good, but maybe had a bit much lime juice. So I might have another one of that on Thursday night, and then I might top it up with some rum and sugar syrup and not put any more lime juice in it. Michael Kearney, a Churchill martini is named after Winston Churchill. Churchill famously wanted the most minuscule amount of vermouth in a martini. So a martini, a proper martini, is gin and vermouth. Fuck vodka martinis, quite honestly. Fuck that noise. So the less vermouth is in the martini, the drier it is. So a martini that's like 2/3 gin, 1/3 vermouth is called a wet martini because it's got a comparatively large amount of vermouth. But some people do a 50-50 with gin and vermouth. Churchill was supposedly known to say, because the vermouths that were available in England were Italian vermouths, he was reportedly known to say, like, when he wanted a martini, yeah, just pour me a glass of cold gin and wave it in the direction of Italy. And that was his version of a martini. So, and I do like a dry martini, but I like a little bit of vermouth in it. So, oh my God, we're talking about panic attacks at some point. I think suddenly in this last half hour, there's a lot of people in the stream. I might have trouble keeping up with the chat. Okay, nobody's saying that you've not done IKEA stuff. Some IKEA stuff is easy, but some IKEA stuff is hard. I have put together some really complex IKEA stuff. It takes a long time. Nettie, you've got a sack of little screws and other bits for a 2-drawer side table. Gives you the fear. The freakiest one I have, it's like a DVD cabinet that opens up And there were so many pieces to that and so many screws. And it took me a while to put it together. And this was probably, I don't know, over 10 years ago. But I did eventually do it. It was a bit concerning. Was that Black Metal Hat? Churchill loved Ararat brandy. Stalin said a lot to him. That's an interesting. I like that. That's an interesting little factoid. But yeah, Churchill was an alcoholic. Churchill was a major pisshead. He was known to drink a lot of gin. Yeah. And saying that again, I feel compelled to anyone who's looking, this is actually water. I know it's in a martini glass. I would be honest with you. If I was drinking a martini, I would tell you I was drinking a martini. This is just water. I don't know if you can hear that noise. Mrs. Angry is scraping together some ice cream over there, but Megalich, you ordered a Woodson and Ford in a restaurant. They looked at you like shit on the floor. You ordered no sugar, bourbon, and Coke. Look, the Woodson and Ford is pretty obscure. That was actually, as I understand it, Woodson and Ford was a bar in New York that doesn't exist anymore, and it was their house cocktail. Drinks, I would suggest ordering at various bars. A Manhattan fucking rocks. Bourbon and sweet vermouth. That is such a nice drink. A martini, which I'm a fan of, is usually gin and dry vermouth. Just if anyone fucking tries to make you a vodka martini, tell them to fuck off, quite honestly. But we did a bit of experimentation here in the Angry House with Mrs. Angry with Martini. And we have a slightly unusual, not unknown, but slightly unusual signature martini for Mrs. Angry, which is a fitty gin and sweet vermouth. Like Kirsten, who's often on the stream, has called that a red martini because most sweet vermouths are red. They're based on red wine. And so we kind of test venues, not at the moment because we're in lockdown and we can't go out, but when we can go out for dates, we often test venues. Mrs. Angry orders them a martini 50-50 vermouth and sweet, 50-50 gin and sweet vermouth and see what they make. Most of them are just like, oh yeah, okay. We did have one where the guy was really confused and he said like, we usually make them with dry vermouth. To which Mrs. Angry said, I know that's how you usually make them. I'm asking you to make one that's 50-50 gin and sweet vermouth. And he went, oh, okay. And it came back and it was good. Because I think the bartender said, oh, yeah, some people like it that way. The guy taking the order was confused though. But most places, if you order a fitty, and I love when we were working, because Mrs. Angry also likes it if it's got some olive brine in it, which makes it a dirty martini. So it's a fitty dirty martini with sweet vermouth. So in martini parlance, that would be a filthy, dirty, sopping, wet, sweet martini, which is a kind of fun thing to say, quite honestly. That's a fun kind of order to make. I want a filthy, dirty, sopping, wet, sweet martini. And it's just... Oh, and I did Mrs. Angry. I did the Woodson and Ford with the cherry rum is just mind blowing. It's fantastic. So that's a thing we're going to enjoy later in the week. As the yeah. Oh, Stella, no one in WA knows how to make a Manhattan and shit you up the wall. That would shit me up the wall too. Abigail, yesterday when he plays a new D&D game, asked a simple question about law enforcement, which led you down a rabbit hole about medieval law. Your answer was way more. But again, answers to arcane questions in D&D should be way more detailed than necessary. That's the whole fun of D&D. Oh, shit. Oh, fucking hell. Stella, people not being able to make a Manhattan would shit me up the wall. Honestly, it's a simple drink, whiskey and sweet vermouth. It's really good though. Okay, we're into lovers of the movie Amadeus, Black Metal Heart. Look, okay, I enjoyed the film Amadeus. Apparently, historically, very counterfactual, but still a very enjoyable film. And apparently, if I remember rightly, it was a stage show before it was a film. But I enjoyed the film as well. Tom Hulce, who was in a bunch of films in the 80s and 90s. What happened to Tom Hulce? Quite honestly. God, he must be old now. And now I'm looking him up. Because he must be at least 10 years older than me. And I'm fucking old, honestly. Tom Hulce, American actor. Oh, yeah, he looks real old in the photo on Wikipedia. When was he born? When was Tom Hulce born? He's 67. Okay, he's more than 10 years older than me. But I have a soft spot for Tom Hulce. In the 80s and 90s, he was in quite a few good films. Megalich, whiskey and gin. Are you talking about? Okay, so Manhattan is whiskey and vermouth, usually sweet vermouth. Martini is usually gin and dry vermouth, but you can do sweet vermouth. Mrs. Angry likes sweet vermouth in a martini, but a Manhattan is whiskey and sweet vermouth. Stella, 20-something bartender WA, don't know what a Manhattan is. Fuck them. Fuck. They fucking suck. A Manhattan is such a bog standard drink. It's just fucking whiskey and fucking sweet vermouth, for fuck's sake. Nettie, yeah, you could go to Port Melbourne. You could go to fucking the Starwood Distillery. They're probably not open, but you could go there. You could go to Patient Wolf. The Patient Wolf, which gave birth to the official Angry Stream house drink, because Nettie and Abigail and Kirsten and I went to the Patient Wolf Distillery, which is Port Melbourne, South Melbourne, and the dude there said, because they make a really good fruity gin. There's the traditional English gin is called a sloe gin, SLOE, because it's gin macerated with berries that are called sloe berries. And I've got the Patient Wolf equivalent over there. They're sorry, I'll just get it out and show it to you. What do they call it? Blackthorn. Yes, the sloe berry is the fruit of the blackthorn hedge. So this is, you see the color of it. This is Patient Wolf's blackthorn gin liqueur. And again, so 50-50. So like an ounce and a half of this, and an ounce and a half of whiskey. So the dude at Patient Wolf said, oh, if you want a good way to serve this, an ounce and a half of this and an ounce and a half of whiskey, which sounds really counterintuitive, but he said that's great. And it is. And I think it was Abigail who came up with it on the stream. An ounce and a half of a sloe gin, an ounce and a half of whiskey, and top it with soda, like have a tall drink, top lots of ice, sloe gin, whiskey, and soda. That's the official Angry Stream drink, the Snosberry Fizz. That is a really fucking good drink. Very refreshing. And hello, Robot Man Greg. Black Metal Hat, pouring a Coke or running sounds like a good challenge. Sorry, I think I've missed a bunch of stuff in the chat as well. Marcus B, you know how to pour a beer, symmetrical screwdriver, rum and Coke. But even a simple thing like rum and Coke with lime juice becomes a Cuba Libre. Lime citrus juice is amazing. Like I like it. I just drink Pepsi Max during the day, but Pepsi Max with a splash of citrus, whether it be lime or lemon or even grapefruit, is just great. Just really lifts it. But yeah, a rum and coke with lime is a Cuba Libre, which is a great drink, honestly. So, Kearney, using an ancient Scottish cure for the common cold. I assume that's whiskey. I assume we're talking whiskey. Oh, gosh, Stella, you're the daughter of a Melbourne barman. Jesus Christ, if the WA barman can't make a fucking Manhattan. Okay, I would excuse anyone if you say, I want a Woodson and Ford, and they get confused and say, what's that? But it's a pretty simple recipe. 1 ounce rum, 1 ounce apple brandy, 3/4 of an ounce sweet vermouth, 1/4 of an ounce Benedictine, splash of bitters. Pretty simple. Stir it on ice. And it is fucking amazing. It's been my since I discovered it about 3 months ago, it's been my fucking favorite. And Mrs. Angry likes it too. All right, Michael, you love a Stone's Green Ginger Ale. Stone's Green Ginger Ale is not bad. I had this weird thing from when I was young. I didn't like ginger ale or ginger beer, and I tried it again recently and went, oh no, I actually like ginger ale and ginger beer. So Stone's is probably pretty. Don't they call it green ginger wine? But anyway, Stone's. It's an Australian icon. Oh yeah, Mike USB. Yeah, for you, WA would be Washington State. Yes. That makes perfect sense. But here it's Western Australia. Jesus Christ, I'm Stella. I'm not going to be able to get that out of my head. Bartenders who don't know how to make a fucking Manhattan. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Black Metal Heart, you reckon the experience in Queensland would be the same? You asked a bartender for an old fashioned. Oh, Jesus Christ. He didn't know what you meant when you said an old fashioned. For fuck's sake. That is so easy. It's literally just whiskey, little bit of sugar or sugar syrup, and a splash of bitters. That's an old fashioned. Jesus Christ. Yes, Black Metal Heart. Exactly like the Simpsons episode. Beer? Oh my God. Ha! I like that, Mark USB. You reckon half Coke and half Sprite taste like ginger ale? That's interesting. Oh, shit. I don't know if you heard that noise. I was messing around with this, my skewer. I didn't even put a fucking cherry in my fucking Woodson and Ford, did I? Now I feel like I gypped myself because I really like those cherries. I just stabbed myself with it. Oh, I need to drink more water. It's almost bedtime. So I'm not going to be doing a stream tomorrow night. It's a TV watching. Yeah, no, I didn't. Abigail, I did not break anything on a live stream. In fact, I don't think I've broken anything since New Year's Eve, where I won't point any fingers, but Abigail, Nettie, and myself were all here on New Year's Eve, and one of my pretty Nick and Nora glasses with the etchings got broken. I'm not pointing any fingers over who broke it. But see, can you see the etchings on this? They're made by the same people. It's the same etchings on this martini glass as on my Nick and Nora glass. They both come from the Bitters Lab, which is in Abigail's neighborhood. But I have a couple of Nick and Nora glasses and a couple of martini glasses with this etching because it just looks so cool. And yes, I have had to replace the Nick and Noras several. The first two Nick and Noras I may or may not have stolen from a bar, and then progressively they got broken. And then I found out the Bitters Lab actually sold them, so I bought a couple replacements. So I do at the moment have 2 Nick and Noras with that etching, 2 martini glasses with the Nora. I think I have these coupe glasses. I did buy a set of 4. I think I only have 3 of them still because one of them got smashed. But then I have these other sort of sexy cut glass coupes, and I think I've got all 4 of them. I bought a packet of 4, and I think I've still got all 4 of them. This is the thing with glasses. They get broken. They get fucking broken. Nettie, you like those? Yeah. How much are they? I'm going to look them up. They weren't horrifically expensive. But they were worth it. So shop online. Their online site is called onlybitters.com. Barware. Glassware. What are they selling currently? A julep mug for $25. The cut glass tiki goblet I have, I love that. I've never managed to break one of them. They're fucking beautiful. The cut glass tiki goblets. One side's a happy face, one side's a sad face. What do we got? Livy Coop, Tiki, Highball. So Nick and Nora without the etching is $13. Lace, okay, so $17 for a Nick and Nora with lace etching on it. Ooh, okay, so the martini glasses are out of stock at the moment, but they're $20 each. Fucking worth it, because I feel sexy as hell when I use them. Stella, are you leaving us? Okay. I'm going to be leaving soon. I will leave very soon. Yeah, so that lace etching on the martini glasses there, like, I'm not sure if I paid $20 or slightly less. I'm not sure, but worth it, because they're very high volume as well. If you do like a standard measure martini, it only comes up to about here, because these are quite high volume. So with my freezer martini, I have the bad habit of just pouring to a decent sort of measure, and then it's like 2 or even 3 martinis in terms of volume of alcohol, which is very dangerous, quite honestly, because when I make a martini, it tends to be reasonably high octane. So yes, pouring it into a large volume glass and wanting it to look like a generous pour, quite dangerous. That's all I'm going to say. So, woof. Well, so, like I said, my freezer martini is at least 5 different sorts of gin, one of which is a pretty serious overproof gin. Clapping for chlamydia. Hello, you've woken up to me. Nice. You got 5 minutes of me here. God, now I think I've got the hiccups. I'll have to try and get rid of that before bedtime in the next 10 minutes. Oh, yeah, Nettie, I love fancy glasses. It's a whole thing. It's one thing, like one of the podcasts I regularly recommend is the Blind Boy podcast. Irish comedian rose to fame about 10 or 15 years ago as part of the music like the Rubber Bandits. He does a really good podcast these days, but he likes to drink, and he referred to drinking cocktails as mindful drinking, because yes, you can get really smashed on cocktails, but if you had a good quality cocktail that has all these different flavors that you can appreciate, you can do mindful drinking and just do sips and experience all the different flavors. Bigly, imagine using tiki bitters in Trinidad and Tobago Day, not in Angostura. Yeah, but I used a fucking rum that was from Trinidad and Tobago. The tiki bitters, which admittedly I did use. Where are Bittermans? I think they're German. Oh no, they're from the Sazerac company, which is New Orleans based. There you go. They're New Orleans based. I thought they might have been German, but they're actually American. Yes, clapping for Media's in Chicago. Micro USB's in New York State. Aw, thanks, clapping for Comedia. Your first sensory input of the day. A beautiful Australian being awesome. I'm doing my best. Putting in a bit of a showing. I'm gonna go to bed in about 5 minutes. Had a couple of bevies. Tried my new cherry rum, which was amazing. Yep. I didn't even drink this. I was just showing off the Blackthorn gin, aka slow gin from Patient Wolf. 37% alcohol. A lot of English slow gins will be as low as 25% alcohol. Patient Wolf aren't fucking around. It's still 37% alcohol. They're fun people over at Patient Wolf, actually. Now, when we're allowed to go places, I'll have to go there again. Abigail, you're going. Good night. I'm looking forward to when we're able to go places, maybe before the end of the year, and we can catch up again and visit bars and or distilleries locally. Because there are a few local ones. We're kind of spoiled in Melbourne. There are a number of very high quality bars in Melbourne and a few good distilleries. Yes, Abigail's going sleepy burbos. I'm right on the verge of going sleepy burbos. So on Thursday, so tomorrow night I won't be live. I will be on the lounge with Mrs. Angry, watching some more In Treatment. We're up to season 3 of In Treatment. Gabrielle Byrne. So it's going to be good. But Thursday I'll be back. I'll be finalizing what cocktails I'm making on Friday night for next week's videos on my cocktail channel. I'm pretty settled on doing a cachaça one because it's Brazil's National Day and they also celebrate their national beverage cachaça. That's next week. So I'm going to do something with cachaça to mark both Brazil's Cachaça Day and their National Day. And then apparently it's Creme de Menthe Day. And I hardly ever do Creme de Menthe cocktails. So I might do a Creme de Menthe cocktail. Just have to decide what I'm going to do for Monday. Nettie, you like the cool kitty? This is one of my weird sort of 50s, 60s retro. If you look more closely, the kitties, this one is shaking a cocktail. I've got a cocktail shaker. And this one's drinking. It's Martini Kitty. So Black Cat is making and drinking martinis on this shirt. This of the cocktail themed shirts I've got, this might be my favorite. But there are a bunch more on these fucking websites that keep advertising to me, primarily on Facebook. Why did I say YouTube? It's Facebook. Yeah. Black Metal Heart, Flaming Hot Drink. Scientists were so preoccupied with what they could, they didn't stop the picture. There are a range of hot drinks. The most famous and dangerous of the flaming drinks is known as a Blue Blazer, where it's high enough alcohol content, you set on fire and you pour it between Boston Shaker glasses. Oh, and I realized I've missed Micro USB. This is actually about Micro USB saying Mountain Dew has a disgusting new flavor in the US called Flamin' Hot Mountain Dew. I am not a huge fan of spicy drinks. I do have a spicy liqueur over there. What's it called? It's like a tequila-based liqueur, Ancho Reyes chili liqueur, which is good in small doses. I'm not a fan of really spicy drinks. Black Metal Heart, it burns invisible. Now, the thing with a Blue Blazer is the flame is visible. A lot of high alcohol drinks that you set on fire is very dangerous because the flame can be invisible. Like I've made a couple, not many because it's dangerous, but I've made a couple for my YouTube cocktail. Big thing you do is sprinkle cinnamon over the top because the grains of cinnamon catch fire when they fall into the flame, which can be invisible. So you get all these sparks, so it looks like a sparkler. So that's good. Yeah, Michael Kearney, I think they might do some of these in dresses, but anyway, we'll see. Anyway, it's 10 o'clock. I'm going to go to bed. I'm theoretically meant to be at work tomorrow. I actually have a couple of meetings tomorrow. Yikes. Hopefully I won't be too sleepy. I'll put on my CPAP machine. That always gives me a good night's sleep. Put on my headgear when I go to bed. Get a solid 8 hours. In fact, my alarm doesn't go off till 7, so I might get 9 hours sleep. We'll see. We will see. So I'm going to go to bed. Yes, I won't be on the stream tomorrow night. We'll be on Thursday. I might be experimenting with 1 or 2 drinks with the new cinnamon bitter orange liqueur I got. That might be my 3rd cocktail next week, an experiment with my new cinnamon bitter orange liqueur, because it's pretty good. And I made 1 or 2 drinks with it, which were good. And we'll see. Anyway, good night, you fabulous people. I miss you all. I'll be back in 2 nights. And Thursday night, practically Friday, almost the weekend. Get fucking hammered. I'm honestly a little bit tipsy tonight. Definitely wouldn't drive or operate heavy machinery right now. But I'm going to go to bed. I bid you people farewell. Take care. I hope you stay well. Hope to see you again soon. But